All right. Good evening, family. Hey, it's your brother G Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, coming in for a special edition of the Late Night Love Chat on this awesome Sunday night. Glory, 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 glory. I hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and evening. And tonight, family, we're just going to come on and just chill and talk about love and relationships. A special edition of the Late Night Love Chat tonight. I don't normally come on Sunday nights at all, but I wanted to come on tonight and just kind of chop it up, talk about a few things, and we'll have a kind of an open Q&A to talk about some of the things that I believe are um, just challenges between men and women. There are so many single men and women out there, and the question becomes, if we're single and we're available, if we're single and we say we're ready, then why aren't we connecting? Nellie, I see you, dear. Brandy, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Why aren't we connecting? There's so many wonderful single people. Listen, please don't fall into the trap of thinking that every woman is bad, brothers. Ladies, please don't fall into the trap. And it is a trap thinking that all men are bad and that all men only want you for one thing. It is not true, ladies. It is not true. That is a false narrative that's been promoted through media, social media, and so-called relationship gurus who have an infinitesimally small amount of education and even experience. Because women who are really experienced with men, they know that there are a lot of good men out there. And I run into so many of my sisters around the country who tell me the good experiences that they've had with men. And maybe I'm not ready, she's saying. Maybe I'm not ready. Yeah, I've run into a couple of good men who were marriage minded, marriage ready, but I wasn't ready. And so we need to take ownership for those kind of things. Good evening, Lady Yvette. Good to see you. Yeah, Michelle Hall. Good evening. Blessings to you. So listen. The reality is whether you're married or not, or ready for marriage or not. Listen, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Let's say that you are in a place where you are desiring a relationship, you want companionship, but you're really not ready for marriage at this moment. That does not make you a bad person. And please don't let people make you feel like you're a bad person, because you're not, whether you are a woman or a man. Wanda, good to see you. Sandra Fabiola, blessings to you. Pastor Flo is in the building. Blessings to you. No, Pastor Flo, that's not me. Uh, y'all, please report anybody who's sending you anything on Instagram. Listen, Pastor Flo, you have known me, and most of y'all have known me for years. Y'all know I don't even talk like that. However, this person is approaching and saying, "Hey, I'm being voted for something on social media. Hey, can you vote for me and send me something?" I don't even talk like that. And I would never hit nobody up in the inbox asking them for things like that. It's like the most ridiculous thing ever. But Pastor Flo, I've been taken advantage of like that, so I know it can happen. So yeah, please report that person, because I would never ask y'all for nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Yeah, thank you, Pastor Flo. Yeah, because you, Pastor Flo, you've known me for years. I don't even talk like that. You know, send me your link. Send me, oh, I lost some number. Oh, can you please send me so and so's number? Like, I don't even talk like that. All right. So listen, good evening, Sandra Fabiola. All right, so listen, let's chop it up, fam. So here's what's up. The real truth is this in regards to relationships. A lot of us are just simply struggling with fear. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck, as the young people say. Listen, a lot of us are just struggling with fear, and y'all don't want to admit it, but you're struggling with fear. This is why, ladies, y'all ain't been out on a date since heck was a pup, because there's no way in the world you can be the beautiful, brilliant woman that you are and you haven't been out on a date, unless you just don't want to go out on a date. If you don't want to go, that's totally cool. If you are really ensconced in your academic pursuits, your entrepreneurial pursuits, just taking care of your family, whatever it is that you're doing, but you can't get mad at God and say that God is not sending you your husband, and you haven't gone anywhere to position yourself to be found by a marriage-minded man. Maria, good to see you. Listen, so let's not do that. Ladies, if you desire to be married, you have to position yourselves to be found. Please let go of this hyper religious mindset of, well, in God's timing, the right man will find you. Not if you ain't nowhere to be found, hunty. Boo, you got to get out. If your whole life consists of work, church, and home, work, church, and home, work, church, take kids here, take kids there, and then back home, if that's your whole life, you're not positioning yourself to be found as a wife. You've got to position yourself to be found. Hello. And chances are that he's not going to find you at your church. Can it happen? It absolutely can. And there's a lot of relationships that developed into marriage by those type of connections. But chances are far greater if you're moving outside of your church. All right. Great question, Maria. Maria says, what do you think about dating sites? I personally am not against dating sites, Maria. I personally know 3 couples that all have been married. One couple has been married for 12 years. One couple has been married for 7 years. Another couple has been married for 3 or 4 years. And all 3 of those couples met each other on a dating site. So I absolutely, I'm not one, Maria, that would push it per se. And there's no dating site that I would recommend. I would just say, if you do go by a dating site, make sure you take plenty of time vetting that relationship. Make sure you make plenty of time vetting that person. Do not go and meet up quickly. All right. You want to spend many hours on the phone. Good evening, Delana. Good to see you. You want to spend many hours on the phone. Blessings, Lady Felicia, getting to know somebody before you go up and meet somebody. All right. Listen, let's do this. So first of all, my personal rule, Maria, is that we need to have anywhere from 5 to 10 at length, uninterrupted conversations over the phone before we even meet up. And during this time, ladies, ladies, I'm specifically talking to you. Men, this is for us too. Don't worry, brothers. I got your back too. I'm an equal opportunity preacher. Listen, but ladies, I'm specifically talking to you because of the danger, that the potential danger, to make sure that this person is who they say they are and that you're not going to be in any danger. All right. So listen, what you want to do is make sure that you've had many conversations over the phone, that you have vetted that person, that you can find someone in their family that really knows them, that you can find out if they're a part of a church. Does the person at the church, does that pastor of the church know them? Do they work where they say they work? If they're an entrepreneur, do they really do what they say they do? Are there people who are clients of theirs that can speak well of that person's character? Listen, Chandrell, good to see you. Miss Tiffany, good to see you. Listen, you have to make sure you vet all of those things. Why are those things important? They're important, beloved, because you want to make sure. Listen, when we talk about having a relationship with somebody, this is you inviting someone into your life. Now watch this. We ain't even committed yet. We're not going to each other's house or any of those things, but just the meetup alone is you giving access to a person to your life. Men, this is true for us too. Men, please don't get it twisted. There are a lot of men, and we don't talk about it because we don't want to tell the story that would make us look bad, that would make us look weak. We don't want to tell the story how we met up with a young lady, and the young lady had some people with her that ambushed us, took all of our money, and left us naked and wounded, like the 7 sons of Sceva. We don't want to tell that story because it's humiliating to us, right? But there's a lot of men that have been duped, hoodwinked, bamboozled. There's a lot of men who've been really taken advantage of doing a meetup with a woman. And because, guess what, brothers? Because you let lust lead you instead of the Spirit leading you. Yes, I said it. In the dating relationship, you got to let the Spirit lead you. That's right. Oh man, it ain't that deep, Dr. G. Man, I'm just going to meet her up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to meet up with her. It ain't all that deep. You know what I mean? We ain't got to pray about it. Bruh, what in the world are you thinking? First of all, you already cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, the fact that you would say that you don't have to pray about it. Baby, you got to pray about everything nowadays. These ain't the times for us to try to dismiss God and try to minify his significance. No, sir. The Bible says in all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. If those men who have been hurt, and some men have been murdered, robbed and murdered, If that man had prayed, God would have gave you a red flag, would have gave you a warning sign and told you, don't you dare go out with that woman. She's worse than Delilah. My God in heaven. Listen, so ladies, the same thing is true for you, and even more so, because ladies, you don't know what this man is capable of. I don't care how good he looks. I don't care how much he presents himself. I don't care that he sent you a first class ticket and flew you out. Ladies, you have to make sure you're taking the time to vet to see who this man really is. All right. Is he the man that he says he is? Or is this a facade? You don't know. So you got to have multiple at-length conversations prior to a meetup. I'm talking about even if you're going to meet for coffee. Nope. We're not meeting for nothing. We ain't meeting for coffee. We ain't meeting for cookies and pie. You got to make sure you take your time. 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 All right. So again, I'm not opposed to dating sites, but you got to make sure, because again, I have so many friends. I have 3 couples right on the top of my head that have met on dating sites and have wonderful marriages today. Thank you, family. Please make sure you hit like or love. Hit like or love on this broadcast. Hit the like, hit the share button. Hit the share button right there. Let's get some folks in on the broadcast. We want to encourage some other people too, because I don't always come in on Sunday nights. So yeah, make sure you share the broadcast and let's help some other people too. Listen. So yeah, absolutely, Brandy. Take your time. There's no rush, ladies and gentlemen. There's no rush. Take your time. All right. Take your time. Now, let's go back to availability, because I hear so many conversations from our women that are saying, you know, where are the good men at? Are you any place to be found by a good man? All right. Are you any place to be found? All right. Listen, let me tell you this. I'm going to put it really, really simple. Good men are in places where good things are happening. I'm going to say it again. Bless you, Trisha. Good men are in places where good things are happening. I am amazed at how many of you beautiful women, beautiful, brilliant sisters are entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, business women, but you've never been to a business mixer or a chamber of commerce meeting. That's where men who are businessmen are, men who are entrepreneurs, men who are highly productive, men who are fruitful, men who are ambitious. That's where they are. They're at business mixers. They're at business conferences. They're at chamber of commerce meetings. They're at networking functions. And it is a beautiful, safe place, ladies, for you to go and have interaction with good, ambitious character, men of high character in those spaces. All men won't be excellent men there. You won't go anywhere, not even the Lord's church. Will you go anywhere and find all good men? There is no such thing. Just like there's no place where you'll find all good women. Let's get rid of that narrative, because women are quick to make it seem like all the men in the world are bad and all the women in the world are angels. And we know that's a lie. So let's get rid of that false narrative. All right. But listen. What we must do is, if you are seeking God, and I talked about this in our prayer broadcast earlier in the week, actually on Thursday, I believe, I talked about preparation. And if you are really preparing yourself, for marriage, or just the fact that you want to have love in your life, that you're ready for a relationship. It doesn't have to be marriage driven, but if you just want a relationship, guess what? You have to prepare yourself for that. We had a beautiful class last night, our final session of our Ready to Love Again masterclass. Y'all should have been there. You missed it. We had a beautiful session last night, and bless you, my sister Dorian. Oh, wow. Good to see you. Bless you. I love you, and I miss you too, Dorian. That's my dear sister Dorian Edwards, a phenomenal producer, one of the top event producers, event planning producers in Southern California. One of the best in the country. Forget Southern California, one of the best in the country, my dear sister. Bless you, Dorian. Dorian, can you believe that we've been friends? We've been brother and sister for like 30 years. Can you believe that? Like, that's bananas. Wow. I worked with you on the first project I worked with you, Dorian, was like 1995. Hamburger. That's bananas. uh, but listen, I want to share this with you. Preparation, family, and Pastor Estella in our master class last night, she talked about how God literally spoke to her. God literally spoke to her. Thank you, Michelle. God literally spoke to her and told her that her current husband, that he was the one. And she wasn't feeling that. She wasn't feeling that. Now watch this. There were two things that I took away. And ladies, you're welcome to share what you took from those of you that were in the class last night. You can share your thought too. What she shared about what God showed her about this man. Two things that I took away. Number one, she felt like, wow, he's not really my type. That was number one. But the bigger takeaway that I got, and she really expressed it from the heart, was that she did not feel she deserved a man who brought so much love and honor and respect for her to the table. Oh my God in heaven. She felt like she didn't deserve it. Listen, can I help y'all here? Preparation process for love is about how we are developing ourselves emotionally, because the soul, family, and I talked about this before, and some of you have been in my classes, and so please, I know at the risk of sounding redundant, but I got to say it for the people in the balcony who maybe never heard it before. The soul craves familiarity. The soul craves familiarity. So now, if you understand that there's a dire need for us mentally and emotionally to connect with that which is familiar rather than venture into new uncharted territory. If you understand that, and especially if you know that about yourself, then you can understand that you will come into a new situation. And if you have not mentally and emotionally prepared yourself for the new relationship, the new opportunity, something that doesn't look like what you have been connected to before, if you have not prepared yourself for that moment, that connection, you are subject to sabotage it. I call it love sabotage. That we push away the very thing we really want and need. We will say negative things, we'll do negative things in that relationship dynamic because we're really, really, really afraid. Because the new relationship is going to require a new you. The new relationship is going to require you to stretch. The new relationship is going to require you to do things differently than how you flowed, how you've conducted yourself in relationships of the past. So I feel you, Nelly. Hey, Wendy Earl is in the building. Bless you, Wendy. Yeah, Nelly says, I am not feeling that way either. She said, because I have a client who was compassionate and considerate. I was not prepared for that. I am not familiar with that. Shalom, Andrew. Shalom, shalom. So Nelly is saying that even one of her clients was considerate and compassionate, and she wasn't used to that. So it was difficult for her to figure out, like, wow, how do I handle this cat? How do I handle this client? I'm not used to someone who's really nice. I'm not used to someone who's compassionate and understanding. Bless you, Vermika. So listen, ladies, it is very important that you prepare yourself for the man that you say you want, because God is going to send you. He's going to send you the man who is understanding, the man who is a good listener, that he's not just listening to you speaking and is going in one ear and out the other. No, a man who is going to listen and really hear your heart and consider your heart. And the question is, are you ready for that? I know I know all y'all sisters are going to say, I'm ready, Dr. G. I've been ready. I've been praying. I've been fasting because I hear from the Lord and I have heard the Lord tell me that he going to send me that kind of husband. But are you ready, hunty, for that kind of man to come into your life? Brothers, same thing. Brothers, I'm an equal opportunity preacher. I got to pull up on us too. Skirt. Brothers, question. Are we prepared? Are we prepared for the woman that we say that we want? Are we prepared for the woman who is understanding, the woman who is kind, the woman who is supportive of your vision? My God in heaven, are we ready? Are we ready? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you, Dorian. My God in heaven. Wow. Yeah, Dorian, we got to get you out here to Atlanta so you can do your Stop the Violence event. I'll call you, Dorian. I'm going to call you. We need to get you out here to Atlanta so you can do that. All right. The number is the same. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. I'll send you an inbox message just to make sure. So, yeah, the question of tonight, Brandy, is, Lord, am I ready? Bless you, Peggy. So, Andrew, listen, because, Andrew, you know, as a man, for us as men, God always puts good women in our path. You know why, Andrew? And this is so true for us men, because for us as men, we're hunters by nature. And ladies, let me help y'all. Let me just give y'all a real quick love nugget before I minister to my brothers. Ladies, let me help y'all, because I hear so many of y'all, man, all these men wanted sex. All these men do is check out our bodies. Baby, what you been up in the gym working on if you don't want us to look at your body? Yes, we are visual creatures. We are hunters. And y'all need to be cool with that. We are very primal in our nature. And trust me, boo, if you are a woman who understands your own body and you enjoy the physical intimacy as well as emotional intimacy in a relationship, then ladies, let me help you up in here. You want a man who knows how to demonstrate that primal nature. Don't nobody want to just be, oh my God, I just love you so much. Oh my God. No, you, okay, don't let, y'all have to come to my class. I have to talk about that another time. Yeah, because yeah, it's Sunday night. I don't want to get too deep on that one right there. Praise God. You should appreciate a man's primal nature. Okay, that's what I'll say. My God, I'm salivating just talking about that. Listen, so now listen, let me talk to my brothers real quick. Brothers, listen, God always puts good women on our path. And the question is, Brother Andrew, the question is, Brother Brandon, are we ready for that good woman who crosses our path? Are you prepared? Because guess what, brothers? Everything that God created in the Garden of Eden, he called it good. Everything he created in the Garden of Eden, he called it good. The one thing that God created that he said it ain't good, and that is that man should be alone. Read your Bible. It's there. Genesis chapter number 2. It is not good that man should be alone. You know why, brothers? Because as much as we can accomplish, as much as we can accomplish, Brother Andrew, as men in our single life, and there are things we should accomplish and have in place as men in our single life, we can only function at the apex of our potential when we have a good, loving, supportive wife by our side. I know, brothers, that bothers you for me to say that, because you think you can take over the world all by yourself. But look all of the men who are world changers. Look at all the men who are world changers. There's no balanced, sound-minded man who is a world changer who is not either looking for a wife or is happily married to a good, supportive woman. All of the world changers are married. And the ones who are not, they're looking for their wives. All right? We can go from top to bottom. We can go from politics to education to business to entertainment. Look at all the successful men. Look at all the world changers. One of the men who I love dearly, Irvin Magic Johnson. married to a good woman, been married to her for over 35 years. All right. Earvin Magic Johnson wouldn't be where he is. Billionaire businessman. He wouldn't be where he is without Cookie. I will never forget. It hit America, even if you were not a Lakers fan, which everybody who knows me knows. I'm born and raised in LA and I bleed purple and gold. Even if you were not a Lakers fan, when Earvin Magic Johnson announced that he was going to have to retire from the NBA because he had HIV, listen, reporters on the news, on every major news station were saying this hit America in an emotional way that America had not felt since the assassination of John Kennedy. Can you believe that? Larry Bird, his arch rival, the next night had to play a game and he was in tears. He was fighting back tears, lips trembling, because he was so sad that this man who was his arch rival and now his friend had to retire from the game that he loved because he had HIV. But guess what? Cookie was right there by that man's side. When Magic wanted to give up on life, Cookie was right there. Come on, somebody. I love that, Andrew. Your parents been married 46 years. That's awesome. Salute to you and your awesome parents. All right. So now listen. What are you saying? Listen. Through all the things that Kobe went through with that rape case, and Kobe admitted his infidelity. He admitted. But guess what? Vanessa stuck by that man. She didn't have to, but she stuck by that man. And look at the legacy that they built together. Kobe would have been successful regardless. Kobe, I mean, come on, mama mentality. Kobe would have been successful regardless, but Kobe would have never had these beautiful girls. And he would have never had the phenomenal, lasting legacy that has spoken for his life. 2 years after he's gone, he would have not had that legacy had he not had that beautiful woman, Vanessa, by his side. All right. So I'm telling you, ladies, we need y'all. Don't pay attention to all these negative men, all of these men who are wounded, who are broken emotionally, and say that they don't need a woman or they only need a woman for one thing. Ladies, please don't pay attention to them brothers, because us men who are men of godly character, far from perfect, we ain't perfect men. You ain't gonna find no perfect man because you ain't perfect. All right. There are no perfect people on the planet. There's only one person who is perfect, and his name is Jesus the Christ. There are no perfect people. So if you're looking for the perfect husband, looking for the perfect man, you're not gonna find him, hunty, because you ain't perfect. You're wonderful. You look good. And I'm sure you are a good woman. And God is going to bless you with a good man, but he ain't perfect. And you ain't either. All right. So, ladies, please understand that we men, we need you. We need y'all, ladies. We need you. Men, please understand that you will achieve success on your own being single. And there's at least a modicum of success, a modicum of discovery of purpose that you should already achieve and have in place before you get connected to your wife. But guess what, brothers? You'll never, let me say it like this. Here we go. There is a portion of your purpose and destiny that is in the womb of your woman. Help me teach this thing tonight. Listen, there's a portion of your dreams inside of her womb, and you are going to have to connect with her in the bond of oneness in order for those dreams to come out, in order for that vision to come out. A part of it is in her. Clarity concerning the fullness of your purpose is in her. I promise you, brothers, I promise you, a woman who loves us and supports us makes us better men. Every man that I know who's happily married and truly honors his wife, every man that I know has said, My wife made me a better man. My wife made me a better man. And brothers, if you haven't had that woman in your life yet, it's okay. Don't trip. God will send her if you prepare yourself for her. All right. But I promise you, a good woman makes a man a better man, period. And if you don't understand that yet, that's your own negative experience. You just chose some bad women, and you need to own that, bruh. Stop blaming it on women. That's your fault. That's your fault if you chose the woman. Listen, that's your fault if you didn't listen to the three prophets. God raised up three prophets all the way back in 1990. Prophet Baal, Prophet Biv, and Prophet DeVoe. And they told us never trust. Okay, I'm sorry. It's Sunday night. Let me leave that alone. So if you followed and you drank the poison, if you partook of the poison, that's your fault. You need to own that. Don't be sitting around here, man, ain't none of these women trustworthy. All they want is money. All they want is bad. Listen, I got about 10 to 12 women on this broadcast right now that ain't interested in your money. She's interested in your heart. She's interested in, number one, do you know God and do you love God? Do you follow his path? Number one. Number two, do you genuinely love and respect women? And number three, do you have a vision for your life that this woman, if she comes into your life, she can help you build it? Because a woman who is a wife is a helpmeet. She comes with a builder's anointing. My God in heaven. Teach, Hightower, teach. Somebody drop that in the chat. Teach, Hightower, teach. Listen, a woman who is a wife in waiting, she comes with a builder's anointing. Whatever you give her, brothers, she will help you build it and make it better. So, number one, do you love God? And are you a man of godly character? All right. I'm going to help y'all, ladies, because y'all will start rolling out with this scroll of different things, and they all fall under one thing, and that is a man who loves God and is of godly character. Because if a man is of godly character, just like you, ladies, if you are a person of godly character, you're going to be loyal. You're going to be a person who is trustworthy. You're going to be a person who is honest. All right. Godly character, that covers the whole gamut, because y'all will start rolling out the 29 commandments of whatever. And like before we know it, we'll be falling asleep by all the things you're saying that you need in a relationship. Godly character, godly character. All right. Then the other intangibles are things like communication. All right. And that's something that the two of you will have to work out in the relationship as you all are building your relationship. All right. Communication. Ladies, you're going to have to be patient with some of the men, because some men, ladies, you're wanting us to be emotionally available. But a lot of us, we struggle with emotional availability, not because we don't want to share with you, but because we are afraid that if we share with you, you all will either judge us, be harshly critical of us, and basically dismiss the man who we are because of the things that we've done. And so, how can you be a preacher and you did that, da 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 da. And trust me, I've heard this in many relationship sessions that I've had with people, as well as people that I know personally. All right. So judging us based on our past and things that we've done in our past and all of that kind of stuff, and minifying the significance of who the man has become and tripping off of what he has done. So a lot of times, ladies, men will shut it down, and he doesn't want to open up to you because he doesn't feel like he can trust you with his heart. Listen. Absolutely, Benjela. Absolutely. So what falls under the umbrella of all of the things, ladies, that you want, men, what falls under the umbrella of the things that we want and need on an emotional level, boom, we can just put it under one umbrella. It's godly character. All right. Godly character. And if we have godly character, if we have submitted ourselves to God, and we have allowed God and continue to allow God to shape and mold us to be the man, the woman that we're supposed to be, if we are the people that pursues a lifestyle of righteousness, not perfection, but a lifestyle of righteousness. If you are that person, then I promise you, God will draw the same type of person to you based on the man, the woman that you are. All right, let me give it to you like this. There's a song that came out years ago talking about opposites attract, right? And you've read and seen movies, TV shows, and all these beautiful romantic, you know, things, uh, uh, about opposites attract. There is something in that, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that you don't want to be looking for someone who is the complete opposite of you. All right. Bless you, Veronica, Donna B. I see you. You don't want to be connected to someone who is the complete opposite of you. All right. I've seen those relationships work very well, but it's not the ideal situation. That's usually going to be the exception and not the rule. We want to be looking for, praying for, and believing God for the person who is not exactly like me, doesn't have to like all the things that I like and all the things that I do, but that we have a high level of what I call COP, compatibility of purpose, that our purposes are aligned. Herein lies the challenge for many men and women, especially men and women who are both in leadership. The woman is in leadership, she's an influencer, and the man is in leadership and he's an influencer. Listen, that thing can look good on paper at first, but it will be a clash of the titans if you are not aligned. If what you do and what I do doesn't complement each other. If what we do, what God put us here to accomplish, and that is purpose, if our purposes are not aligned with each other, if they are not compatible with each other, then we will be in constant conflict rather than in a beautiful complementary relationship that's coming into oneness. All right. We will be battling like two rams going head to head. Bam. Bam. Well, no, I think you should be doing what? No, I think we should do this. Well, we should do this. Well, I said we should do this. Well, I'm the head. Well, no, I got God too, and you need to submit to me too. And then boom, we got a clash of the titans. So we have to make sure that our purposes are aligned. Ladies, what's super important for you, because what God has placed in you is a builder's anointing, that you come with a builder's ability. Guess what, ladies? You have to make sure that you're not just coming to the table to help build what God has called him to do, but that he's also willing to help build what you are called to do. Somebody dropped this in the chat. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. If you are going to be in a relationship, you can't be the one who's always giving, nor can you be the one who's always receiving. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. There has to be a balance. And anytime the relationship lacks balance, the relationship is going to be out of order. And ultimately, somebody is going to be dealing with resentment. And resentment can be hidden for years. Don't get it twisted. People can fake the funk real good. Come on, Patty. Come on, Dana Marie. Elizabeth, good to see you, dear. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. So you can't be the one who's always giving, and you can't be the one who's always receiving. All right. For the people who, of the 5 love languages, great book written by Dr. Gary Chapman, of the book of the 5 love languages, if gifts and most of y'all do that whole thing wrong. I think I need to do a whole thing and help y'all with that, because most of y'all do that whole thing wrong. The book is entitled 5 Love Languages. It doesn't mean that you only have one of the 5. You have to put all 5 down and write down on a list which ones are of the top priority. So 1 through 5, which one is 1 most important, 5 least important. All right. Every time I talk to somebody that has read the book or has perused the book, because I can tell the people who really read it and the people who perused it, the people who've read it, they understand that all 5 languages are applicable. The people who have just perused it say, oh, my favorite love language, my love language is gifts. I already know you ain't read the book, boo. All right, but let's talk about gifts since we're there. Hit that share button. Have y'all shared the broadcast yet? Come on, hit that share button. Come on, y'all. I'm not here on Sunday nights normally. All right, so I came on just to be a blessing tonight and just to drop some love nuggets and hopefully help some of us who are relationship ready, or at least you're trying to get to the place where you are relationship and or marriage ready. All right, watch this, Vermika. So let's talk about gifts. On a human level, because we are all inherently selfish, Peggy, because we're all inherently selfish, the tendency for us is that we give what we want to receive. Because we're inherently selfish, we don't think about what the other person needs. We think about what we would like to receive. And so we're normally giving out what we would like to receive in return. So if you are a person that your number 1 love language of the 5, that your number 1 love language is receiving gifts, then we tend to give a lot of gifts. All right. This is a great question, Elizabeth. Great question. I'm going to take that question in a minute. Great question. I love that. So conversely, and the same thing is true, men, for those of us who we love receiving from our woman acts of service, we tend to do a lot of acts of service. So we're around her house trying to fix her place. Boom, we're trying to buy her nice little things that will upgrade her household or her business or her office. We're doing acts of service. When we're making sure her car is washed, boom, we're making sure that her gas tank is full. You know what I mean? Acts of service, because that's what we like to receive. So we're normally giving that which we like to receive. The greatest act of real love is when we are selfless in our giving, that I'm not giving you what I would like to receive. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to study you and find out what you would like to receive. Because if it's me, Veronica, if you are a person that loves giving gifts, well, gifts is number 5 of the 5 love languages for me. It's not high on my priority list at all whatsoever. So if you're giving me gifts, I'm going to appreciate it, because my grandmama, my mom, my grandmama, and my daddy raised me right to always appreciate what anybody gives to you. So I'm going to appreciate it. But if you bought me a watch, chances are I'm not going to be every day sporting the watch. Be like, yeah. Bling, bling. Yeah, check out my drip. You know, I mean, I'm not that dude. I'm just not that dude. So if you're buying me gifts, trying to buy me some expensive, wonderful thing, chances are I'm not even going to wear it. Not often. I will wear it in honor of you and to show you that I appreciate what you gave me, but it's not high on my priority list. All right. Yeah, Vermika, I'm not going to be sporting a watch. You ain't going to be seeing me in the video. You know, you ain't going to see me all up in the videos, sporting my watch. You know what I mean? You ain't going to see me all up in the videos dancing. Yeah, check out my drip. Chandrell, because gifts is not most important to me. So then the woman who's in my life has to learn who G is. And if you learn who G is, then you're going to learn what love languages are most important to me, and you will give that. Because here's what the Bible says, ladies and gentlemen. Delana, here we go. Here's what the Bible says. The Bible says in the love chapter, 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient, love is kind, love is not self-seeking. Hello? Are y'all with me? Facebookers, Twitters, users, YouTubers, are you there? Love is not self-seeking. All right? So love is not seeking to please self. Love is always seeking to please the other person. Dana Marie, if I love you, then I need to find out what pleases you. I need to find out what is good for you. All right? Thank you. Oh my God, Pastor Jillian is here. Pastor Jillian, good to see you. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for putting that there. So these are the 5 love languages, and the objective for all of us is to list in order 1 through 5 which ones are most important to you. So 1 being most important, 2 being the second most important, 3rd being, so on and so forth. And so that's how that works. All right. That's how we do the 5 love languages. We do them based on area of importance for you. All right. So if quality time, for example, if quality time is most important to you, then this is what you want to communicate to the person that you're with, that you enjoy quality time. All right. Yeah, absolutely, Lady Felicia. Well said. Well said. All right. So let's address this question. Let's address this question because this was a great question, and I don't want to overlook this. So Elizabeth asked a question: how do you deal with an introvert? So Elizabeth, let's assume that you are an extrovert. All right. Let's break it down real quick, because there's actually not 2 personality types. There are 3. All right. There is the extrovert, which is the outgoing, gregarious person who is the life of the party kind of individual. They love going out. They love entertaining. They love hosting. They genuinely love people, and they feed off the interaction with other people. All right. That's the extrovert. The introverted person, they love people, but they also love and even covet their quiet time. They love and they covet personal time. They're not the persons who always want to be out at an event. They're not the person who always want to be out going to a party, you know. They're the people who love being at home, writing, reading, doing some wonderful creative thing, doing some artwork, recording, or whatever they enjoy doing. They love being at home. They love having time to themselves or with just a small number of people in an intimate space. All right. That's the introvert. The ambivert, which is me, the ambivert is the person who is both extroverted and introverted. That's me. I'm a quintessential ambivert. I love being out, and because it's literally a part of my purpose, I love being out. I love being among people. I love entertaining. I love creating. I love going to support. I love going to help. But I also covet my quiet time. Woo! Love me some quiet time. I love having my personal space. I don't always want to be among people, because part of my job, my reason for existence, is to pour out into people. And no person, no matter how anointed you are, can then be in a perpetual state of pouring out without taking some time for self-care to get poured back into. All right. You can only pour out so much, and then you are going to be an empty vessel. All right. So you got to have time for self-care, quiet time, getting replenished, getting restored, so you can go back out and pour again. All right. So now, how to deal with an introvert, depending on what personality type you are, Elizabeth. Let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, that you're an extrovert. Then what you have to do is you have to find a happy medium of how to find some balance in this relationship, right? So you have to figure out, if you are the extrovert, you have to be the person that figures out, okay, he's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. What can we find to do together that makes him feel comfortable, but it's also something that I enjoy doing? Or that we decide that since he likes more quiet time in a more intimate space, that we do something that's quiet. Maybe we plan a date that's going to the park. Maybe we plan to go to the beach. Maybe we just go to a nice little outing where it's not a whole lot of people, right? Because we don't even want to spend a lot of time indoors, because we know in the dating space between men and women, especially if we are strongly attracted to each other, we don't want to spend a whole lot of time indoors. All right. That's putting 2 sticks together. You rub 2 sticks together for a while, it's going to start a fire. All right. That's a fire. We ain't trying to set no fire off, all right? We don't want to wake up love before it's time. Come on, somebody. All right. So you want to find quiet, intimate things that that person would enjoy doing, Elizabeth, and you may have to help that man with that because he may not know what to do. He may be accustomed to having a really conservative flow where most of his time is at home when he's not working and when he's not going out to do his part in the world, that whether it's work or ministry or both, he may just enjoy being at home. So you may have to help him, Elizabeth, find quiet, intimate things to do with just you and him, or just a small number of people that he likes and trusts, where he can feel good. And then you have to help him say, hey, babe, now I like to do these kind of things. And so you have to find something that you both can enjoy doing, that maybe it's not a big, huge crowd. If you're like me, I'm a music lover. I'm a music person. So I love concerts. But there are concerts and places you can go to hear music that's not thousands and thousands of people. All right. You can go to an intimate little jazz spot, an intimate little poetry place. All right. There's all kind of wonderful things you can do, but you have to make sure that we are communicating with each other so that we're both feeling safe. All right. Yeah, absolutely, Delana. Yeah, too much time at the house, y'all. Too much time in an intimate space. Listen, for most people, now there are some of us who are disciplined in this area and we can spend quality time together and nothing jumps off. But for most of us, if we spend too much time in a closed, quiet space, hey, something gonna jump off. All right. All right. So there's always, in every major city in America, there's some kind of poetry jam. There's some cool little underground spot where there's music, artists going forth. There's always some nice stuff happening. You just got to research, make some phone calls, get online and do a little bit of research and find out what's popping in your city, or a city that's close by to where you live. All right. This is a great question. Dorian said, if a person can't walk temporarily and you wanted someone in your life, can a woman find a man that loves her for herself? So if my sister Dorian, if you are temporarily incapacitated where you can't walk, you're confined to a wheelchair or a walker, can that woman find love in her life? Can that man find love in her life? Dorian, absolutely you can. Absolutely. I posted this on my Facebook last year, family, and I guess it's time for me to post it again. There were 3 women within the last 2 years that I personally know of, 3 women who were all wheelchair bound and they got married. One beautiful sister, she was paralyzed from the waist down when this awesome black man met her. All right. And I emphasize black man, not for any other thing other than to dispel the horrific myth and the lies out there that are saying that black men are not marriage minded. So this awesome young black man got his own business, very successful, fell in love with this woman who was paralyzed from the waist down. They started dating. She was reticent to go out with him at first because she felt like, I'm not even a whole woman. I'm in this wheelchair. I can't do nothing. I can't go. I can't walk with you down the beach. I can't do this. But he convinced her. He persuaded her to go out, and they started going out. She had a wonderful time, best time in her life. Her mother had never seen her so happy. Guess what? One day they went to the park, and that man got down on one knee to the woman in a wheelchair and proposed marriage to her. Did y'all hear what I said? And they got married, and they're happily married to this day. And so I'm sharing that with you to say that there are times in our lives where we need to put in some work to become a better version of ourselves. But there are also times, based on where you are in your life, where it is what it is. This is where I am. And so now you have to believe God for someone who will love you based on where you are right now. Hey, Kenosha, good to see you. Yeah. Delana said, my best friend is overweight, uses a walker, and has a bad back. She got married in 2021. Come on, Delana. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm sharing that with you. And then there's another young lady. She was here in the state of Georgia. She went on a, she got on a, what's that thing called? Where you get on, you get on this thing, you hold the handles, and it's a line that you just boom. What is it called? Somebody help me out. She got on this awesome thing. Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Dorian, you're very welcome, my sister. What is it called? It's a zip lining. Thank you, Vermika. Thank you. Thank you, Chandrell. Yeah, she got on this zip lining thing. Young lady, lives right here in Georgia. And she either went too far or at some point she fell off the zip line. Thank you, Benjela. She fell off the zip line. And where she fell into a creek where the creek, you know, where there's all kind of little critters in there. There was some bacteria in that water, and the injury that she had, which her leg was cut open, that injury didn't cause her as much harm as the infection caused her. So because of the bacteria that was in the water, it got into the open wound, and I don't know if it wasn't treated right or if she just had some kind of really unusual allergic reaction to it. But after she had been taken to the hospital and she had been bandaged up and all of that, it got deep into her body, where ultimately she had to have her leg amputated. All right. She had to have her leg amputated. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that after 2 years of therapy and her having to relearn how to walk, how to move around, and just really feel good about herself as a woman, after 2 years, there was a wonderful gentleman who met her, fell in love with her, and married her. And she's wheelchair bound. And what I'm sharing with you, family, and I know some of you think that I'm overly optimistic. Those of you that know me and been following me for years, like, oh, Dr. G is just a love doctor, and he's just always believing all these great love stories. But that doesn't happen in real life. It happens in real life. These women that I'm telling you about, they are far worse off than you that are listening to me right now. Far worse off if you're just looking at them from a physical perspective. But guess what? Those women are blessed, happy, and have good men in their lives, and they are happily married. All right. So I need you all. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Delana. Yeah, it was a flesh-eating bacteria. That's exactly what it was. Thank you, Delana. It was a flesh-eating bacteria that she was dealing with, and that caused her to okay, thank you, Lady Yvette. Bless you, Angela. This flesh-eating bacteria, that's exactly what it was, Delana. She was dealing with a flesh-eating bacteria, and it literally ate away at her flesh. She had an amputation. I think she had 2 amputations, but ultimately she became wheelchair bound. 2 years later, this man met her, wasn't studying nothing about her being in a wheelchair, and married her. All right. And my point, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm sharing with you is God always has somebody who will love you for you, no matter what state or condition you're in. Now, the question is, are you going to put in the work for yourself? Are you going to put in the work for yourself to become a better version of who you are, rather than being frustrated about your current condition and just languishing in it? There's one of my sisters. I ain't gonna mention her name. She's very popular. There's one of my sisters. She is struggling because she has alopecia. I told her, I said, sis, you're beautiful. What in the world are you tripping off of? So because she has alopecia, she has, she decided to get these braids and all this kind of stuff. But she often gets frustrated, and then she doesn't take care. She doesn't keep the braids up. And it's like, you're expecting a man to come holla, and your braids are not like most of us men, especially those of us who are African American. We ain't tripping off of braids. We cool with it. In fact, some men absolutely adore a woman with braids. I love braids personally. I mean, I don't want to see them all the time. I want you to change them out every now and then, praise God. But I'm cool. But guess what, honey? You got to take care of that. You got to keep that up. All right? Don't just be having it just, standing all on top of your head like a big old bag of curly fries, And I mean, there's no maintenance. There's nothing that speaks to you loving yourself and you putting time and energy and effort into yourself. Ladies, let me help y'all here, because this whole natural thing has kind of gotten off track. And so now there comes this narrative where if a man loves you, he loves you in your natural state. Yes, we do love you in your natural state, but every woman knows. Every woman knows, if she's been brought up the right way, every woman knows that you have to put time and energy and effort to make the best version of yourself. It doesn't matter if you don't wear makeup, that's okay. But make sure your face is presentable. You cannot just roll up out of here like you just rolled out of bed, put a hot towel on your face and walk out the door. That ain't gonna work. It doesn't work for us men. So how you think that's going to work for you when you, as the woman, you're the most beautiful creature on the planet that God created? You are the personification of what beauty is. And when a woman personifies beauty, a woman who does so is a woman who shows time and effort that she's invested in herself. It ain't about the makeup. It ain't about spending $500 to $1,000 on getting your hair done. It's about you taking the time to put energy and effort into presenting yourself. All right. My daddy told me, listen, from the front door to the curb is about 10 steps, 20 steps tops to take the trash out. My daddy wouldn't let me go outside in my pajamas and my house shoes to take the trash out. Boy, you got to be presentable when you leave this house. Be presentable at all times. That was his word, presentable. You got to always be presentable. That was my daddy telling me as a kid not to take the trash out with a bathrobe on and some house shoes. That was to take the trash out. You know my daddy wasn't playing when I called myself going somewhere and I'm not looking presentable. So ladies, please don't get into the whole feminist mindset like these men always trying to change us. We ain't trying to change you, but I'm just not going to marry you if you don't see the necessity of putting yourself, presenting yourself in the best way that you possibly can. If you don't see the need to do that, that's cool. That's your choice. But I have a choice too. And my choice is not to date you or marry you if you don't want to invest time in you. And if you don't see the need to love yourself, I ain't about to love you. I have a right to choose not to be with you, just like you have a right to choose not to be with me. Just like you are living by the standard of I want to be all natural and a man got to love me for who I am. Nobody has to love you for who you are. Brothers, the same thing is true for you. Nobody has to love you just the way you are. Ain't nobody got to love that. Come on, brothers. All these brothers as a part of the t-shirt and the tennis shoe game. God bless you. There are some women who pretty much like dudes in t-shirts, jeans, and tennis shoes. But women who are business-minded, business-oriented, they love a man who can put on a nice suit and look good, a blazer, a nice shirt or a sweater and some slacks and look good, some loafers. Come on, somebody. And look good, some gaiters, some Kenneth Cole, some Cole Hans, some nice comfortable shoes and look good. Because ladies, y'all tell the brothers if I'm right about it, ladies. Ladies, y'all say amen if what I'm about to say is true. For most women, especially women who are leaders, women who are business minded, women who are entrepreneurs, women who are educated, women who are ministry leaders, for most of those women, not all, but most of those women, nothing has a powerful, sexy impact on a woman like a man who's dressed well, groomed well, and walks in with a nice suit on. Ladies, if I'm right about it, please tell the brothers amen. Help the brothers out. Show some love to the brothers tonight, because some of them don't believe fat meat is greasy. I'm not against wearing tennis shoes. I'm not against wearing jeans. But listen, even for a man who's a multi-billionaire who can dress however he wants, Jay-Z, you don't see Jay-Z kicking it in big chains and jeans and t-shirts all the time. Jay-Z will put on a suit in a minute and slay y'all. Amen, Michelle. Vermika, I see you. It said, and smelling good. Make sure you smell good, Dr. G. Make sure you smell good. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And so, ladies, the same thing is true for you. We love the same thing y'all love and that y'all need is the same thing we love and we need. We love, oh my God, there's nothing that shifts a whole room, that shifts an entire atmosphere like a well-dressed woman who comes in and she smells good. Oh my God, it is downright captivating. Wow, what fragrance is that you're wearing? Oh my God, incredible. So I'll take a couple more questions. It's almost midnight. I'll take a couple of questions, y'all. And Ramika said I went on a date years ago with a man and he smelled like Snuggle. All right. That's funny. All right. So I'll take a couple of questions. If you all have any questions, I will take a couple of questions before we get out of here. It's almost midnight. I need to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? I will be glad to take them. Good evening, Delta Ray. Thanks for coming in. All right. Please make sure you hit like and share. Hit like or love. Share the broadcast. All right. Any questions? I'll wait a couple of minutes. I'll wait a minute or two. Give everybody a chance. Benjula says, I don't know where to go. So Benjula, you know, this one is easy for you because you're a businesswoman, you're an entrepreneur. So you have to go to places, you have to go to places, things that you like. Well, that's a different conversation, Benjula. That's a different conversation. Oh, absolutely, Nelly. Absolutely. Let me take Benjula's question first. I don't know where to go. So, ladies, I talk about this often. Ladies, depending on what you do, you have to find things that are recreational activities that are congruent with your calling, with your job, with the endeavors that you are aspiring to get involved in. All right. So, for example, if you are an aspiring author, men who are authors, men who love books, men who are writers, we hang out in coffee shops. We hang out in coffee shops. We hang out in bookstores. All right. Go to Barnes and Noble. Most big, huge Barnes and Noble stores have a Starbucks connected to it. Boom. Great place to connect with men. Men who are intellectual, we love museums. Get dressed up, hunty, and go to a museum. All right. Men who are business minded, listen, in the business district in your city, boom, take yourself to lunch. Go and look good. Take yourself out. Ladies, I cannot stress this enough. You have got to master the ability of loving yourself. And part of loving yourself is taking yourself out to dinner, taking yourself out to lunch. We as men who are marriage minded, we are shocked and amazed when we see a beautiful woman, Benjela, who is out by herself. Like, it's unbelievable. And it's so rare. And I promise you that a man who sees you and finds you attractive, he's going to watch you from afar for a little minute because he's wondering, like, okay, I know a brother got to show up at some point. He sits there and watch you for about 30 minutes and nobody shows up. He will make his way over and have a conversation. Now, ladies, what you have to do is your body language has to speak. All right. This is a huge problem that I see with a lot of women. I'm like, oh my God, she says she's ready for love, but nothing about her body language is saying that she's ready for love. The whole time you in your phone. Ladies, how in the world are you going to even be aware if a man is looking at you? And how can you let him know that you're okay to allow him to approach if your whole face is in your phone? Hamburger. That is not making yourself available. That is not making yourself approachable. Ladies, and I need you to practice smiling. Oh my God. Even for a man like myself, who I love people, so I will engage. Listen, there's no place where I ever travel where I don't meet a friend. I always find friends everywhere I go. All right? Listen, I will engage with a man sitting at, we're sitting at a sports bar, boom, a little diner, and we're sitting at the diner, at the bar area, having a sandwich or whatever, I'm gonna strike up a conversation and talk about something. If I see him reading the business section of the paper, boom, we'll have a conversation about business, because I'm always looking to steer that conversation on how I can talk to him about the Lord. So boom, I'm gonna have conversation with this man. Boom, if I meet a lady, I'm never intimidated. I don't care what you have on, hunty. You can have on $5,000 worth of clothes and shoes and $1,000 pair of Chanel glasses on. I will not be intimidated about talking to you. However, if there's nothing about you that says that I'm approachable, I may be reticent to approach you, because some women don't want to be approached at all whatsoever. Some women will tell you straight out, no, that's okay. You don't have to hold the door open for me. I can get it for myself. And yes, I've had that happen. So ladies, you have to have, your body language has to say that you are willing to be approached, that you are approachable. All right. You have to, ladies, I know y'all don't like to be told this. I know you don't like to be told to smile. But on a human level, let me just talk to you on the human level, not dating, not romantic relationship, none of that, just a human level. As a man, I understand that I will shift an atmosphere when I walk into an area as a black man, and I'm the only black man present. I understand that I will shift the energy of that room when I enter in with a smile and I have a pleasing disposition. Conversely, if I come in with a scowl and I'm feeling the narrative of the angry black man, that can bring a negative energy. All right, y'all got to understand that. Stop being so caught up in yourself and being so angry. I hate when people tell me to smile. That's because you don't. You will shift an atmosphere. You can shift the energy. Listen, let me say it like this. You can literally shift the spirit in a room based on how you enter into that room. If you enter into that room with a loving spirit, listen, you can shift the atmosphere. I shared this before, ladies and gentlemen. It bears repeating. There, at the church that I was a part of in LA, great man was there. He's a member of the church, been there for years. He is an NFL Hall of Famer. All y'all would know him if I mentioned his name. He's an NFL Hall of Famer. Oh, there's my big brother, Bishop Brian Keith Williams is in the building. Blessings on you, Apostle. Good to see you. My dear friend, my big brother in the gospel. Um, and this NFL Hall of Famer, he's sitting there on the front row. And the bishop says, hey, turn to your neighbor and speak a word of life into them. Now, this wasn't the typical turn to your neighbor and high five him. He says, turn to your neighbor and speak a word of life into him. When I turned to this brother, I saw nothing but pain in his face, Dorian. Dorian, you know who this man is. I saw nothing but pain in his face. I wasn't led to speak a word. I was led to give him a hug. When I gave that man a hug, that big old man broke down and cried like a baby. All I did was smile at the brother, and it caused him to have a breakthrough. Ladies, I need you to understand the power that you possess, that's in you, that does something powerful for us. So ladies, if you are saying that you are ready for love, if you are saying that you are marriage ready, then there is something about your countenance, there is something about your body language that you have to exude to draw the type of love that you say you want. And if you don't, it's okay. But hamburger, don't be mad at God and don't be mad at me when ain't no man hollering at you and ain't no man asking you on a date. Because I know you're sanctified, you're clean, but you mean. Clean and mean. Some of y'all just clean and mean. Sanctified, but unapproachable. Never got a smile on your face. And then some of y'all are just too busy. Your face is always in your phone. Every time I look up, you on your phone. Never having a conversation. Your face is in your phone. Don't no man, ain't no man gonna try to compete with that. I'm not competing with no devices. And let me say that a little louder for the people in the balcony. I, G Hightower, I'm not competing with any devices. I'm gonna leave that right there. Okay, let me get to this question. Hey, Tabby, good to see you. Miss Nellie said, is it possible to have your mate mate with someone that you work with? Yes, absolutely. Listen, you can absolutely develop a relationship with someone that you work with. That may end up being a very good thing, but I promise you, you're going to have a whole lot of communication to make sure that we are a good fit. Are you ready? Listen, you may not want to. In fact, I highly recommend that you don't make your relationship public immediately. Take several months. Please hear me, ladies and gentlemen. Unless y'all ready to get married like next week, next month, take several months of cultivating and developing your relationship and keep it private, keep it exclusive, because there are haters on your job. Listen, some of your best friends on the job will be jealous of you and they will seek to sabotage your relationship. So keep that thing private. Y'all be too quick to publicize your relationship. It ain't time to be public. All right. It is time to develop it and nurture it and build a firm foundation. All right. And then you can make it public at the right time. But as long as you can keep that thing private and don't feel like, well, I don't want to be a secret. You ain't being a secret. It's called discretion. Okay? Wise women practice discretion. Don't fall into this snare of the social media. Don't fall into the social media snare that you got to publicize everything. Every time you go out on a date, you got to publicize. Every time you go out to dinner, you got to put it on Instagram. Every time he buy you something, you got to put it on. You got to post it on Facebook. Stop that foolishness, man. That's immature. That's immature. All right? The only reason why people do that constantly is because they're trying to prove something to people. That's the only reason why you do it, because you're trying to prove something to somebody. You're trying to prove either to your ex that somebody likes you and sees you as valuable because they didn't, or you're trying to prove to your homies, your homegirls, or your homeboys that, yeah, I got somebody. Yeah. How you like me now? That's immature. You ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody. Keep that relationship sacred and be discreet as long as you can. All right. Protect your privacy. And ladies, guess what? We as men, we love a woman who knows how to be private about her relationship. We love that. It makes us feel safe. I know, ladies, you are accustomed to a man making you feel safe. Guess what, ladies? We have emotions too. We need to feel safe too. You ain't the only one that needs to feel safe, baby. I just told you. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. All right? Yeah. Come on, Yolanda. We ain't got nothing to prove. And the only people who feel like they have something to prove is people who's trying to prove something to someone else. When you're confident in yourself, you ain't got nothing to prove. Listen, ain't nobody gonna know when I'm dating. The only thing they gonna find out is I'm about to get married. And even posting the engagement will be something for her more so than for me. I don't even have a need to post that I'm engaged, because I carry myself as a certain way. As a man, I carry myself as in a certain way. If I'm in a relationship, I carry myself as such. I ain't trying to holler at nobody. Ain't nobody hollering at me. Well, they try to holler, but I ain't got time for it. They do try to holler. Trust. They do try to holler. But I carry myself a certain way as a man. So I'm going to conduct myself as such if I'm in this committed relationship. And then boom, engaged. Oh man, it's on a whole nother level. For me, I just want to post I'm getting married. Hey y'all, pray for us. I'm getting married tomorrow. Or I might just post got married today. Thank you, Benjela. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. All right, I'll take one last question and we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Let's see if I can find a question. Oh, this is a great question. Okay, this is gonna be my last question. Lady Felicia, this is great. I love this. At what point should the relationship be public knowledge? This is a great question. All right, so as a man and a woman, you have to decide this for yourself. When you want to make your relationship public, all right? You have to do that for yourself. So, I don't know if Bishop is still here, if Bishop Brian Keith Williams is still here, but I loved how Bishop Brian Keith Williams, first of all, because he is my friend, he is my dear friend, one of my absolute dearest friends in the whole wide world. And when Bishop was on his process and seeking God for his wife, he flowed a certain way. He didn't post him like, yeah, I'm out with this baddie, you know what I'm saying? She a prophetess and all that, and we about to build the kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Like Bishop wasn't getting down like that, you know what I'm saying? And Bishop Brian Keith Williams, if y'all know Bishop Brian Keith Williams, he's the coolest bishop on the planet. Like Bishop is cool, like for real with it. You know what I mean? Bishop was just, he was losing weight. He was working on his body. And he was like, boom, slimming down, boom, boom. We both have a certain store that we like. Boom, he was going to get him some cool little hats. You know what I'm saying? And you just see Bishop kicking in his nice little blazer, nice little shirt, some jeans, and some chucks. And just taking a picture like this, you know what I mean? Like Bishop was just like, bam, kicking it. I was like, yeah, Bishop is cool, man. I wouldn't be shocked if Bishop Brian Keith Williams pulled up in a lowrider. You know what I'm saying? I would not be surprised. I would love to see it, actually. I would love to see Bishop Brian Keith Williams pull up in a lowrider. Talk about diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging in the scene with a gangster lean. Woo, woo. Woo! Listen. But he was very classy in how he handled that whole situation. And when he started dating Lady Kezia, boom, he just flowed in a certain way. I knew he was dating. But he didn't make that public knowledge. And then boom, as that relationship evolved and started growing, then boom, he posted it in his own good time. But they were already well on the pathway of marriage. All right. So when do you do that, Lady Felicia? You'll have to decide that for yourself. You have to decide that if we want to do that after we are 3 months in and we're not dating, we're courting. Okay. That's when Bishop did it. Bishop started sharing after they were already committed and moving toward marriage. Not that we're dating. Somebody dropped this in the chat. Dating is for discovery. Dating is for discovery. Dating is for we're trying to discover if we are a good fit for each other. Once we're in the courting phase of the relationship and we are exclusively committed to each other, then, Lady Felicia, if both of you are in agreement, you can post then. We're not posting no pictures. We're not making our relationship public when we're in the dating phase. But the soonest that we can do it is when we're in the courting phase. Once we have become exclusive, then we can make that relationship public. All right. I hope that blesses somebody. So, and the commitment, you know, that's something that the two of you will have to do. Ladies, generally, you want the man to lead that, but you have to have certain boundaries in place for yourself. That you're not going to be you ain't going to be nobody's girlfriend or dating perspective for 6 months to a year. Okay? Because for most of us men, for men who are marriage minded and men who are intentional, we know very early if we want you to be the one, if we want to start developing the relationship and be exclusive with you. It does not take us long, ladies. We'll know that inside of 90 days. All right. But that also requires spending quality time together, getting to know each other. All right. Not just having phone conversations, but actually really getting to know each other. All right. Quality time matters. All right. I hope this bless y'all. I'm going to leave this post up for a while so you can go back and watch the replay. Bless you, Miss Vivian. Thanks for coming in. Chandrell, thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you all greatly. Brothers, let me leave you with an encouraging word because I told y'all I'm an equal opportunity preacher. Brothers, there are a lot of women who really are ready. They do want love in their life. They do want to commit themselves to one man, but emotionally, she may not be there yet. So, brothers, what we have to determine is, can you love her in spite of the baggage that she's carrying? Knowing that all of us as human beings, we all have baggage. Please, y'all stop this foolishness. Talking about, I want to marry somebody ain't got no baggage. Everybody got baggage. Everybody has baggage. You just want to make sure that you are dealing with someone who is ready to unpack that baggage and willing to allow you to share in that process. All right? Because we all have baggage. All right? Baggage shows up in the form of hurt from the past. And all of us have gone through some hurt from the past. All of us have gone through some level of trauma. Every single human being. You cannot be a human being on this earth and be an adult and have never suffered anything traumatically. We've all dealt with levels of trauma. You just want to make sure that a person has addressed those soul wounds, addressed the traumatic experiences that they've gone through, addressed some of the baggage that they have. All right? Because some of us have a ton of baggage. And baby, listen, I'm anointed and I'm equipped to help you with some of that baggage. But I'm not trying to carry all the baggage. You know what I mean? Some of this baggage that people be carrying, it's like, this is not enough. We can't even fit inside of our car. You're going to have to ship that. You're going I can't, I got an SUV and I can't even put all this baggage in here. You have to ship that. You're going to have to ship that out. Oh my God. So how can we be better? Benjula, how we can be better is staying conscious and being honest about the issues that we know that we're dealing with. If I know I struggle with fear of being abandoned, I got to be real with that, and I have to communicate that. That's what makes you better. It's the old saying, Benjula, is confession is good for the soul. So when we confess our faults one to another and pray for one another, that positions us for healing. We create, even in doing that and confessing our faults, confessing our hurts, even in doing that with each other, it opens the door for a healing and restoration to take place. Because now what we're doing is we're building a bond of trust in sharing those things with each other. And then in addition to building the bond of trust, we're also creating a safe space to share areas in our lives where we have hurt, where we have weakness. All right. That's why communicating with each other is so important. All right. So I hope that helps. I love y'all. I gotta go. It's well after midnight, and I've been on here a whole hour and 30 minutes. Um, but this has been good. I'm glad you all came on. Thank you for sharing part of your Sunday night, now Monday morning with me. Blessings on y'all, family. I'll be back on tomorrow at some point. So make sure you're following me. If you're not following, make sure you follow me so that when I go live, you'll be able to you'll be able to receive a notification that I'm live. All right. Love you. Blessings on you. This is your brother, G Hightower. Make sure that you come back for the late night love chat. I am the entanglement coach. And what does that mean? I specialize in helping people break free from soul ties, entanglements, unhealthy attachments, and get yourself healed from soul wounds so that you can be prepared to find your soul mate. All right. That's what I do as the entanglement coach. So I love you. I appreciate you. Reach out to me. Send me an inbox message if you need me. I am available for one-on-one and group coaching and couples coaching as well. I'm not new to this. I'm real true to this. I bring you 19 years of pastoral counseling experience, y'all. I can help you. All right. Love you. Blessings to you. We'll see you later by God's grace.